All right, great. Thanks, Rick. For more on the data, let's bring in Bharat Ramamurthy, former Deputy Director, the White House National Economic Council, Douglas Holtz-Eakin. He served as Director of the Office of Management and Budget and is now the President of the American Action Forum. And it's good to have you both on it. And Bharat, let me ask you at this point, can you, I was trying to get to that lagging indicator, if you would, on the revised GDP. Are we in a 5.2% economy right now? Should the Fed view it that way?
Well, look, I think everyone is expecting that fourth quarter GDP isn't going to be quite as high as 5%, but I think it's worth stepping back a little bit and reflecting based on the numbers that we got today, where we are and where we have come from since January of 2021. I remember sitting in the White House right after the inauguration looking at the fact that we had less than 1% of the population vaccinated. We had an unemployment rate over 6%, and people across the board were projecting that we would have a long and slow and grinding recovery. And instead, here we are in November of 2023. We've just come off a quarter of over 5% economic growth. Inflation has been coming down towards target. We've got 20 straight months of unemployment under 4%. I think there's a lot of reason for optimism, even if the economy isn't going to be growing at 5% quarter after quarter.
Be that as it may, Doug, I mean, we know how people feel, and we see it in the polls. So I understand what Bharat wants to point out, some of the good things the administration has accomplished. But where are we in the economic cycle, in your view, Doug?
Well, I think the third quarter GDP number is pretty misleading about the underlying strength in the economy. You know, a lot of that was driven by a big push in government spending, 9/10 of a percentage point, big inventory move, 1.4 percentage points. If you look at core private demand, it's about 2.9 percentage points, almost all at households. And that concerns me because every post-war recession, other than the pandemic, was led by a downturn in business fixed investment. So keeping an eye on the business sector is the key. It is essentially flat in the third quarter. The durable goods orders haven't been very strong. And so we've been held up by the households. But how did they do it? Real disposable income hasn't been growing. It's been dead flat over the past couple quarters. Savings rates dropped by 2 percentage points since May. That feels like a household sector on fumes and a business sector that's not very enthusiastic. That's a recipe for slow at best growth in 2024. And I think that's what we're looking at.
Gentlemen, I want to play you something and just get your reaction if I could. This is Vice President Harris and what she said yesterday at the DealBook Summit about inflation. Take a listen.
Economic measures and don't necessarily connect with the heart and the experience and the feelings of the American people. For many Americans, prices are still too high, and we still have work to do to address that.
What do you think of that, Doug?
Well, I think that's actually dead on the mark. You know, people are celebrating what a great progress we made on inflation, but if you look at sort of core PCE as the benchmark, that peaked at about 5.6%. We're now down to 3.5%. That's great, but that's halfway home. That's not the finishing stretch.
Right.
That's halfway to the 2% target. So, you know, when I read the Fed minutes and the staff outlook is we'll get to 2% in 2026, that tells you have a lot of battle with inflation left.
Brad, but the other piece of this is, do you think that a president ever gets credit one way or the other? I mean, it's funny. I think they get blame as interest rates go up, inflation goes up. I don't know if they get credit on the way down.
Yeah, look, I think that what the vice president said is accurate as well. I think what we have learned from the past couple of years is that even when income may be rising, and in many cases, especially for lower income households, rising faster than prices, people still don't like paying higher prices. People still don't like going to the grocery store and paying $50 more per week than they used to a few years ago. And so I think what you're starting to see in the polling data, and what I think you will see over the next year, is that as inflation gets closer and closer to target, as the salience of higher prices starts to fade a little bit, as real wage gains continue to tick up, people are going to start reflecting that in their sentiment about the economy. And I would project that a year from now, people's views on the economy will be a lot stronger than they are right now.
All right, Bharat and Douglas Holtz-Eakin, thanks. We've got places to go, people to see, things to do, but we appreciate